one not long ago.
I've already found him. He's my brother. I found him just now.
That boy doesn't have black hair or black eyes.
What? Who the hell are you?
I met 2 men who matched the description.
Eminence in shadow is back, baby. Them who lurk in thy darkness is back. The blood moon is here. The frenzy has begun. Get yourself to a safe place. Yo, our boy 𝐒𝐻𝐚𝐧𝐽𝐩𝐸, he's a fool. Okay, here's the thing. Eminence in Shadow Season 2. Huge win for the anime community here. I think huge win for all of us Eminence in Shadow fans. Like, not only did we get the most bangery of bangers Season 2 Episode 1s in a long time, I think the only thing, and this is personal, okay? For me, the only thing for me that rivals this as far as an EP1 of another season, or really any season, is Mushoku Tensei. Like, that's the only thing. Everything else is like, is good to great to, well, this is like masterpiece level to me. And I think it is drastically different from Mushoku Tensei, okay? But still, I think that's the only thing that comes really close to this. So not only did episode 1 of season 2 get a day and date dub, Kobe, you know what I mean? Like, that's a win, right? That's day and date dub. And, you know, at the end of the day, a lot of you might be purist, or if you don't hear you know, if you don't hear Japanese, you're like, skirt, I'm usually the Heisman, I'm not going to watch it, you know what I mean? But there's a lot of us out there who really love dub. And, you know, personally, I don't speak Japanese, so you know what I mean? When it comes to choosing between the two, I'm always going to go with the dub, unless the dub is really awful. But it's very rare that I come across a dub that's not good. Okay, so day and date dub, huge freaking win. Shout out to our folks over there at High Dive putting in the anime lord's work, okay? Then, you know, one of the things that makes Eminence in Shadow so special is its intricate and delicate balance between being serious, having a great plot line, contextualizing world building, and then giving us the absolute funny. Like, this show is hilarious, but it does it in unique ways that are different from, like, the other ways that maybe comedy might hit within, like, more serious type anime, where they're kind of doing something that's, like, over the top. Here, the funny comes in where you have Claire freaking just dragging Sid everywhere, right? He's talking and narrating us through the lawless city of, like, oh, this is the city of where, you know, the prostitutes lie and the kill get killed and this happens and that. And then suddenly we see that he's low-key being dragged by the collar as he's narrating to us. That is effing hilarious. And that is like perfection on screen, you know what I mean? Like, the moment that you see it narrating, like, oh, we're in the lawless city and this and that, and then you see that he's getting his ass dragged by Claire, and like that, I immediately just like, it's hilarious, it's funny, right? Then, you know, later on we see that we get a shot of the tower, right? And adventurers are coming to the tower to come and claim, you know, the Blood Queen, or the Storm of the Blood, and the queen of the vampires. And we see that the adventures that we get to see firsthand were adventures that Sid had faced as, you know, the other man, you know, during the Bushin festival or whatever. And we're like, okay, we're seeing Golden Boy, and like they drew him glistening and everything. He goes and they lose badly. Then later on, when he's in the lawless city, you know, we see that they're actually being slave traded. They're like, yo, they try and sell these 2 idiots to Claire, you know, later on. And then the slave trader, if you missed it, he's going through his logs. He's like, oh, you know, because she, you know, Claire was like, nah, you know, I already got somebody like that, as she's dragging Sid. He's like, oh, you like the younger ones. And if you don't hear, he was like, oh, I actually got a batch of academy students coming later on. And I was like, yo, I bet those are Cid's friends. And of course, later on, we see Cid's friends stumbling into Lawless City to go and lose their virginity, but, to get attacked by ghouls and stuff. So I was like, it's this perfect balance of just well-written story dialogue with an air of comedy that just makes you laugh over and over and over. And this is really like perfection. So not only did they introduce something very serious as in like, the Lawless City and the Blood Moon, and we get to see Cid, telling all the girls, in the Shadow Army, whatever, you get to see him telling all the girls that he's going to go there on his own. He's going to go, do this stuff. And basically he's doing this because Claire's dragging his ass over here. And you get to see all of that. So we get to see this really like serious plot line that has to deal with like vampires and lycans and spirit foxes and golems and ogres and all this stuff, which is dope. But then you get to see him still being, Shadow, the Eminence in Shadow, and doing all of that still. So I think like that is just what makes this show special. Now, I've been about 5 minutes, so just know 10 out of 10 F in episode 1. Like, I'm telling you, this was so good. Let me run through everything that happened this episode, and just so I can kind of give you my opinions on the things that happened. Okay, so first off, we started off with some booty. We started off with the Sakuga, voluptuous booty Sakuga, with our girl Delta, running and howling and everything. Then we see him, at his base. He's basically at the base, and he's getting a report from all the girls. And, he sees the blood moon. And he's like, I smell it. I smell it. I smell it in the air. Everyone starts smelling themselves, putting perfume and stuff. Again, hilarious. They talk about the omen of the legendary red moon. A bunch of bullshit that he still thinks to this day that everybody around him, even though he sees this organization and money flowing in, he still thinks everyone's pretending around him, which is, it takes a special type of mental illness for that. But hey, we're going to let that one go. Then we learn about the Blood Queen in the Crimson Tower. She's the queen of vampires and one of the 3 rulers of the Lawless City. Apparently, the 3 rulers are the Blood Queen, who her name's Elizabeth, who hasn't actually awakened. It's being told that she's actually the ruler of everything, but one of her subordinates who's trying to revive her, is actually running this. And my first guess was that I bet these 3 people, these 3 rulers, including this Blood Queen, are eventually going to report up to Cid in some capacity later. I bet he basically gets him by the balls kind of thing. But anyways, we have the Blood Queen, which I can't wait to meet a vampire queen. We have 𝐒𝐻𝐚𝐴, the spirit fox, which beast girl. And then we have this other guy named Juggernaut, the tyrant of the Black Tower or something like that. Okay. So those are the 3 rulers. Then we saw the gold adventure stuff. Boy gets embarrassed. We learned that Claire has graduated, right? So she's moved on. Now it's Cid's turn to graduate. She's part of now what they call the Dark Knight Association, like an underground underground knights kind of thing. They're from the kingdom, but they're underground kind of stuff. We get a really cool recap from Cid, which is hilarious. We get like a whole run through of when he got here to now. So I thought that was really, really great. We then find out that, Claire won the Bushin Festival. We knew that. Then she got assigned to the Lawless City to go exterminate vampires. We do learn that Claire, in her own just like crazy way, she really cares about Cid. We knew about that a lot. She's looking out for his future and everything. And I think he kind of recognizes that as well too. Then we see the slave trader with, again, Gold Guy and the academy students coming. We get to see, some hilarious scenes of attempts at pickpocketing. He basically was attempted to get pickpocketed. He actually pickpocketed pickpocketers. Then we see the ghouls, and the ghouls are multiplying. They bite each other. They multiply. And we meet somebody called the ancient vampire hunter Marie. She wields blood magic, very similar to Cid's and the girl's shadow magic, where they have these shadows. She basically kind of like has magic very similar to that, but she does blood. So it's like blood art versus shadow arts kind of thing. So I was like, okay, that's really cool. We met this Prosty, which I guess her name was Mary as well too, but he saves her. He basically puts her on the right path. She's no longer going to work the streets. She's going to go on the right path because she met Cid. And then the vampire hunter Marie said some things like the frenzy began and the blood moon is out, and get to safety, the frenzy's begun. So he just begins kind of he loves that. He fell in love with that. And he just begins saying that over and over. And then he ends up jumping into the middle of 𝐒𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐭, the Spirit Fox and Juggernaut, the Tyrants fight at the very end. Again, I think he's about to put them in their place. So, I mean, incredible freaking episode. Episode 1 was like the most fiery fire episode I've seen. I think this was awesome. And I just cannot wait to see more. All right, my friends, I love this episode. Let me know your thoughts in das comments down below. Also, let me know if you watched the subbed or dub. Either way, I mean, you're winning, right? But let me know in the comments down below and just overall thoughts. All right, my friends, I'm going to see your ass for episode number 2. It's going to be fire. Let's freaking go. Blood Moon, baby, the frenzy's begun. See you next week.